What's going on, everybody? I am your host, Juice Wayne, and in today's Batman-related news, we are talking about the Suicide Squad 2 reboot or not reboot or sequel that's not really a sequel because, man, there's been so much news coming out about this in the last few days that this is definitely not a reboot anymore. And what I mean by that was previous reports were saying that this Suicide Squad that James Gunn was taking over was going to basically forget the previous movie, but maybe use a character or two like Harley Quinn and Viola Davis, who is Amanda Waller. But recent reports have come out from other actors from the first Suicide Squad saying that they are now going to be in the movie or confirming their, involvement with Suicide Squad 2. So there's no telling how many people from the previous team are going to be in the next movie, but there could be a lot of cameos or there could be a lot of deaths, which we will talk about later at the end of this video. So let's go ahead and start off with the first two characters that have been reported to be coming back to the movie, and that is Amanda Waller. Obviously, she is the leader of the Suicide Squad, and then Harley Quinn. Of course, she is filming Birds of Prey right now, but apparently they are going to film this movie at the end of the year, and she's also going to do this movie. So we're going to get a whole bunch of Harley Quinn, which I think is pretty dope. Next up, which is something I reported in my Batman News Weekly, was that Jai Courtney has confirmed that he is also involved in the Suicide Squad reboot. If you don't know who Jai Courtney is, he was Captain Boomerang in the first movie, somebody who I actually liked in that movie, so I'm excited that he's coming back to the project as well. Now, the newest report of the next person to be coming back to Suicide Squad is Joel Kinnaman, who was Rick Flag. I'm not gonna lie, this one did surprise me. I did not see Joel coming back to the Suicide Squad franchise, but I gotta say, this is pretty cool. Again, this could just be a cameo, or they could be trying to do something else with him. Maybe he will be a part of the movie. I do feel like we're gonna have a different cast with just a couple people from the previous movie and maybe a bunch of cameos, but like I said, they could be thinking about something very different going forward with this movie to bring in these new characters, but we'll just have to wait and see. One of the biggest reports of a character that was going to be coming back but was going to get recast was that Will Smith was not going to be returning to Suicide Squad, but the movie wanted to use Deadshot again, and they were going to recast Will Smith with Idris Elba, which would have been crazy because I do love Idris Elba. It would have sucked to recast Will Smith because I also loved him. I thought he was a solid Deadshot. But now new reports have come out that Idris Elba is supposed to be in this movie, but he is going to be a brand new character. And at the same time, Deadshot is going to be out of this movie completely, so that does open the door for Will Smith to return as Deadshot in the future, in maybe another Suicide Squad sequel or in another type of DC movie, which I think is pretty awesome because it didn't look like Will Smith didn't want to be a part of this movie. It's just that he has scheduling conflicts that are going to get in the way of filming while Suicide Squad 2 would be filming, so he wouldn't be able to be a part of it. So I'm totally on board with Idris Elba being in this film because, like I said, he is a badass, but at the same time that he is going to be a new character and not taking the place of somebody that was already there because, the DCEU is going to have a bunch of recastings here in the future, possibly Superman, possibly Batman, stuff like that. So that kind of sucks, and if we can save a few recastings and keep some of the cool actors that we have, that would be totally awesome. So I'm totally for Idris Elba coming in and playing a whole new character. The big question is, who is he going to play? Now, from earlier reports of the possible James Gunn roster of Suicide Squad characters, it was going to be Polka Dot Man, King Shark, Peacekeeper, and Ratcatcher. Now, to be honest, none of those characters scream Idris Elba when I look at them, so it's going to be very interesting to see if they're going to bring in another character that hasn't been noticed or if he will be one of these four. A lot of people are speculating that Dave Bautista might be a part of this film because he was so adamant about not working on Guardians of the Galaxy 3 if James Gunn wasn't going to be a part of it, which that has now been backtracked on. Disney is going to make Guardians 3 with James Gunn after Suicide Squad, so now Dave Bautista is going to be in Suicide Squad. Not Suicide Squad, Guardians of the Galaxy 3. So it's possible that he won't be in this film, and reports that have just came out in the last couple of days is he is going to be a part of Zack Snyder's new zombie movie. So these movies are supposed to start filming around the same time, so it's more than likely Dave Bautista won't be in Suicide Squad. That means the characters of Peacekeeper or King Shark, which a lot of people thought he would be one of those characters, might be up for grabs for other actors to take part in, which totally sucks because I wanted Dave Bautista to be a part of the Suicide Squad. I really loved that he was defending James Gunn so much, even going up against Disney, which is one of the biggest studios in the world, and, he just spoke his mind. I always appreciate people that speak their mind and stand up for something that they believe in. That makes sense, you know what I mean? And I thought that was kind of cool. So it sucks that he's not going to be in Suicide Squad. I was really hoping he was going to do that. I mean, he could still be. I've heard people out there on Twitter talk about how maybe that they could film King Shark. I literally just said King Shark. Some people on Twitter have said that maybe Dave Bautista could voice King Shark at a later date and then just have somebody stand in and do the motion capture for King Shark, which I would totally be down with that. That still leaves Idris Elba just sitting there, not having a character, and somebody threw out the idea of Manchester Black being Idris Elba, and I was just like, oh my god, that would be awesome. If you're currently watching this season of Supergirl, you know who Manchester Black is, but I just think that would be pretty awesome for freaking Idris Elba to be Manchester Black. I think he would just be really badass in that role, and I just don't know who else that they would get to be, like, you just have Idris Elba. He's such a great actor. You want him to have an awesome role, so it's going to be really interesting to see what they do with him. The last bit of Suicide Squad news we have for this video is who the villain could possibly be. In past iterations of the script, it was supposed to be Black Adam, which I think would have been totally awesome and would have been a perfect way to introduce Black Adam into the DCEU, which was so great right now because of Shazam. If you haven't seen Shazam, go watch it. Anyways, Black Adam is definitely not going to be in this movie, so the rumor is now that it is going to be a muscular femme fatale, which could be a bunch of different people, but according to Geeks Worldwide, they think it could be either Rampage, Voodoo, or a gender Ben Despero. They're also reporting in this article that the source material for this movie is going to be Joss Ostrander's Suicide Squad run, and that the femme fatale could be the Duchess, also known as Lashina, I don't know how to pronounce it, but she is one of the female Furies from Apocalypse. And if you don't know anything about the female Furies from Apocalypse, just imagine super badass women that work for Darkseid. They are gangster. It's also where Big Barda came from. So yeah, they are gangster women that could kill anybody. They're gangsters. The article also throws out there that if they do use a female Fury in this movie as a villain, it could tie into the New Gods movie that is supposed to be directed by Ava DuVernay. I apologize if I butchered that. Anyways, in my opinion, that would be pretty awesome if a Suicide Squad movie could tie into the New Gods movie, because I think a lot of people are going to get confused by the New Gods, you know, especially I feel like a lot of people don't know too much about the New Gods. They haven't went back and really did any research on DC stuff, and you know, I really want that movie to be a success. I think that movie is going to be awesome. It could be great for the DCEU, but I do think it's going to have a bunch of characters that a lot of people are like, who? So if James Gunn could tie Suicide Squad into a New Gods movie, I think that would be pretty dope, and he's definitely had experience in doing that before, working in the MCU. Hello from the future. I noticed while editing I totally didn't talk about what could happen in the movie with the old Suicide Squad characters and the new Suicide Squad characters that will be coming in. Over on Twitter, if you guys follow Casey Walsh, you might have seen his theory on what could be happening with Suicide Squad 2. His theory is maybe the movie starts off with a lot of the old team getting killed in a mission, which makes room for this new team. Although that would be awesome, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be more of a situation where they're bringing back some of the familiar faces and they're going to mix them with these new members that most of the new members are actually going to die because they're so obscure characters, and we know James Gunn loves his obscure characters, that I think if they die, nobody's gonna care. But somebody like Captain Boomerang, who is part of the Rogues Gallery of the Flash, you don't really want to kill them right now because they are, you know, hopefully gonna be a part of the Flash someday. And we saw that interaction in Suicide Squad 1 of the Flash actually capturing Captain Boomerang. One would hope that DC has that in mind when thinking about possibly killing a lot of these characters, and why it would make sense to bring in a bunch of characters that probably nobody cares about, like Polka Dot Man, Peacekeeper, stuff like that, to end up killing them in the actual movie. Because at the end of the day, the Suicide Squad has always been a revolving door for team members, because again, these are supposed to be impossible, insane missions where you're more than likely going to die. It's the reason why they use villains for these missions. So there's that. Now back to the original video. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Everything going on with the Suicide Squad movie so far, right there in a little package for you. And the moment this gets uploaded, there's going to be something new to pop up, and I'm just going to be like, if you haven't seen any of my other content, definitely do check it out right there. Also hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any bat-tastic content on this channel. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Juice Wayne, and remember, Batman is awesome. See you guys next time.
Step on the land, I've got your hand, and now we're way down, fade out, no.
Yes! And new Intercontinental Champion, baby! We finally got it! We finally got it in here! Oh my god! Bro! Try to get out of here! Oh!